All right, guys, Hero Cox here, kind of going old school. This is like from years and years back. Better a phone that's no offense to where was that guy? Yeah. No offense to this guy here. It was this old BlackBerry that I was using years and years ago to film things because it had a pretty good camera for that for back then. But unfortunately, it's hard software. Its hardware is fine. The software is so different and crazy that it doesn't like Windows 10. So it's like yeah. So it won't let me let me plug it in. Well, interface will work with the computer, so then it won't let me take stuff out of there. So yeah, it's basically yeah, useless right now. But that's how that goes. Um, basically, yeah, gotta go old school, but definitely shatter screen. This is my what I call shatter screen from one of my mom's old ones. That unfortunately she, I think we were running for a bus. She actually dropped it or something, and it fell basically hit screen first and cartwheeled on the street and got cracks all in it. And so she got a new one, and I got to get this one and used it as a what do you use it as a music player till its headphone jack wore out, things like that. But yeah, it definitely is setting itself up to be a good picture phone, camera phone. I put a 64 gigabyte micro SD card in here, so I can actually get some footage and get some stuff in there. And I basically will be taking all that stuff off of there, putting it onto when I get a better system. The fly over there. When I get a better system, I'll just take that stuff off of there and put it onto something else, and that'd be great. Take all that old videos off and put it onto the new storage thing I'll get, and then I can have more room to do camera stuff or something. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. That's the issue is almost a lot of phones have cameras. Like this is a camera my brother gave me. This is a phone my brother gave me. That I think it was also one of mom's old ones, but yeah, or not. Who knows? But whatever the case is, this is I use this as my main music phone because it can handle a 64 gigabyte micro SD card. Okay, handle that. Has a bunch of cool music on it and things like that. YouTube stuff like they use it at work. It's great. So yeah, we're working on that. But I wanted to make this video, we look at that. The reason why I'm doing it this way instead of my normal film, my normal way on my webcam and stuff is because right now the my internet provider is not wanting to give us the internet because they say we owe us a bunch of we owe a bunch of money, which is true, and we will pay it as soon as we can. But until we get that done, I'm stuck with this. This is a better way to do it. Uh, my opinion is because basically instead of having to, it's easier instead of having to upload. Make the video, which I can do that. I still have the ability to make videos mostly. The way I used to make them. I usually make them. Well, yeah, the honest traders might have to wait a bit because like my current editor, the Power Director program, does not like being offline. But that's okay. Yeah, I have other ones I can use when you do. But still, uploading from the computer to the phone, then uploading to the phone, from the phone to online is a few steps, and I can do that, but I like doing other things instead. But that's the issue too. Dang it, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on here. The phone is a lot of space, pretty good amount of space for a phone, so that could work. I gotta put it in someplace else. I do need to upgrade a bunch of things, and I will upgrade them. Well, for instance, my computer, it does work very nicely, but they're saying they want Windows 11 now. And they said your computer can't use Windows 11. It's just it's not new enough to do that. So it's like, well. Anyway, what I want to talk about in this thing here, this video here, other than of course telling you what's going on, updating you on things like that, is talk about how names. There are many different things going on. Names of gaming companies in gaming news, basically, the names of gaming companies don't mean anything anymore. It's a very sad video. I'm very sad about that, but that's how it is. Gaming companies it used to be like, yeah, you go to Rocksteady, Rocksteady or BioWare or Activision Blizzard, all kinds of ones. Used to have great names. Ubisoft, great, amazing names, you know. And you'd be like, oh, heck yes, if you had told me that there would be a horrible game Justice League game made by Rocksteady, years ago, made by Rocksteady, that would make me hate Rocksteady and hate everything that they become. If you told me that, like when the Batman Arkham games were just making, bank back then, I would not have believed you. Unfortunately, that's the reality we're in. All kinds of stuff going on. Names no longer mean anything. Companies no longer mean anything, and that's the issue. In games, names no longer mean anything. I say names in general. Okay, names of characters don't mean anything because it's like, oh yeah, no, Rocksteady doing the Batman game. I'm in some ways looking forward to it because hopefully we'll actually be able to play as Batman again. We'll actually be able to play as Batman again. That's good. Uh, but we'll see how things work out. If they're doing a remake of the Arkham series, which would be a really bad idea, because the Arkham series, first of all, the Arkham series is amazing in its original form. Okay, with Seven Hill and Jamie Walker being the ones who actually wrote the stories and stuff like that. Paul Dini was in there too. But the people who made the Arkham series, yeah, they when they were doing that was great. Then they came the like remake, remasters, whatever they were, which updated the graphics a bit. So yeah, the game's already been remade a few times, so you don't need to remake it. Second of all, you don't get it right. They won't not get it right. They're gonna change. Zaz, they've already changed the doctor's race. The female doctor who Bane wants to beat up because she was a huge jerk to him. And they siphoned venom because the Joker forced her to. They're gonna change her race. They are. Probably Zaz's race too. There's so many things in there that just will be like, yeah, no, we're gonna change it because they don't like that stuff. Right. Irritated my eyes here, but yeah, they're gonna do that. They are. Then comes other things, uh, just so many other things like that. I would like them to make new games instead. Gotham Knights was definitely better. It was definitely not better than the Arkham series, no, but a good game from people like Sweet Baby Incorporated. It was actually a fun game, looking game. It had multiple characters. There was a team. That's one thing I hate about the woke DEI, consultant companies. They usually, consultant companies and game makers often will focus on a single character. Make this person perfect, invincible, basically. And just like, yeah, look at your new gaming heroes with giant man, male, female gaming heroes with massive man jaw and man chin, and basically man bodies, and strong, independent women that look like men, and no faults, no flaws at all. And yeah, basically they're just made as a vehicle for advertising things, for talking about our racist, sexist, divisive way of thinking. And I'm just like, not again, So yeah, I'm glad there's like, yeah, we have multiple characters with different gameplay styles. We have to do that again. Keep doing that. You got Rocksteady now. Make them make Gotham Knights stuff, more Gotham Knights stuff or something. Use free flow combat to your advantage. That's what I say. I don't know if they'll do that, but that's the issue. There's other places making Arkham games now, like Camouflage. Even Montreal making an okay Arkham game with Arkham Origins. So yeah. So that was good. But anyway, still, names of anything. Batman, again. Used to be like, oh yeah, heck yes, I want to see a new Batman game. Now they Suicide Squad, and it's like, no, the people who made the awesome Batman games, or the company that made the awesome Batman games, not the people, the company that made the awesome Batman games, have now made a crappy live service game that's trying to rip off Fortnite and also hates on the characters we like, And then the launch content had them all killed because, just a slap in the face to the fans, just like that's horrible. Dragon Age used to mean something. The name of a game used to mean something. Dragon Age, used to be, it had some great games, but then all of a sudden it's like, no, we're making this crappy thing called Veilguard, Dragon Age Veilguard, where it's new people making it, and where you erase all the stuff that we established before, and change it to be all modern and transgender and non-binary and gay and whatever, because we want to, continue pushing this nasty message. Then you have, what was it? Companies. I mean, Ubisoft now it doesn't mean much. I go 15 minutes. Ubisoft now doesn't mean much at all. They used to make great games, but now they're making crappy games. As a last ditch effort to not be absorbed by Tencent, but it's not working. Looking forward to Tencent buys them out, and this is like, yeah, no, we're not making that. We're going to work on a multitude of different games, less expensive, but we're gonna, Ubisoft properties are now going to be, just slapped in. Beyond Good and Evil 2 come out, finally will come out. Hopefully you'll get Rayman. Hopefully we'll get a Civil War Assassin's Creed. So many different things you can get. Right now, just things, yeah. Hopefully we'll get that stuff going because that'd be really cool to see, Ubisoft making good games again. But yeah, there's just so many issues with this stuff. Names, companies don't even have names anymore. WB used to be an amazing company with a lot of awesome, fun stuff, especially animated things. But now, of course, they're like, nah, animation. We don't like that stuff around here. WB's what WB's going on with WB and what's going on with Rocksteady smell of corporate takeover. Someone else has come in, replaced the people that were there that were making billions of dollars for other companies, and would replace them with their own people who are running the stuff into the ground. That's what it looks like to me. In both cases, you know, basically a game that studio that used to make single player offline superhero games making a multiplayer online crappy Fortnite ripoff, villain game, and a company that used to make awesome animated features too, not just cartoon shows but also feature films, animated feature films with all the classic characters that are just amazing. Suddenly we're like, we don't care about the characters, one of these live action characters that aren't nearly the same and not nearly as good, Here's any of that stuff, cancel it all, get rid of it, I'm just like, it's really sad. But yeah, names no longer mean anything anymore. When I see someone say, look, with the new Batman game, I'm like, okay, let's see. Let's see what you got. Play it. Let's play it. Let's do a let's play, look, the new, we at, BioWare are making a new Mass Effect game. I'm like, okay, yeah, here's the issue. They're making a new Mass Effect game, okay? I hope it's going to be a live service. There was rumors that it could be live service. That game should be live service. It could be like Helldivers ripoff. I have no problem with that. Because here's the issue. There are former Mass Effect devs that have made a studio, okay? And they're working on a game called Genesis, okay? And yeah, I want... The Genesis is very much like Mass Effect, actual classic, real Mass Effect. So if new BioWare makes a online Helldivers 2 like Mass Effect game where you play as a nameless, faceless soldier, run around and shoot at things to complete missions, then I won't step on the toes of Genesis, Exodus, whatever. I'm sorry, wrong verse of the Bible. Exodus, it's called Exodus. Of Exodus, which is going to be like very, very Mass Effect like. I look forward to seeing that. So yeah, and the companies don't make the names of companies don't mean anything. We can have new companies come in. There can be new companies that come in. The old companies are basically floundering, doing horrible things with woke DEI bullcrap and live service bullcrap, getting things all wrong and messing around, hiring the wrong people, just running perfectly good franchises into the ground, and still saying, yeah, no, support our franchise now. Yeah, no. The new stuff can come along and be like, hey, I'm new, not with anyone, any of these losers, and the gameplay is good, and the graphics are good, gameplay is good, all kinds of stuff's good, it's just like, yeah, let's support them, these new ones coming out, that's what I'm doing for. So I'll see you guys next time. Trip you out on YouTube and DeviantArt.